When you need someone to talk to and you don't know what to do, call us 421-4400. When you're feeling all alone and they turn their back on you, call us 421-4400. Call us 421-4400. Call us 421-4400. Call us. Good afternoon and welcome to the Kind Counseling Podcast. This is your host, Danya Roberts, and I'm joined today by Cammie Roberts and our special guest hosts, Deshaun Geddes and Fred Charles. Today, we're going to talk about the quarantine coming to an end and what that means for all of us. But first, we want to get into what you guys are doing. It's Memorial Weekend. Who's having a barbecue? Because, now we can have gatherings of 10 or less. So whose house am I coming to this weekend?
Not
for
mine.
hot dogs and hamburgers.
I did throw some chicken on the grill last week.
Nice.
Last week you said?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice and fresh.
No barbecue this weekend.
I put a
Yeah.
Lunchable on the grill.
What you said?
A Lunchable.
I put a
Oh,
Lunchable on the grill.
Oh, man.
All right, so y'all not doing nothing, going nowhere, even to the backyard.
Once somebody tell me a barbecue, I'm going. I'll tell you that right now.
Would you go to a barbecue, though, if you were invited?
Nope.
No?
Charles.
Not me.
Why not, Fred?
That's Fred.
And then tell me why you would go, Deshaun. So, Fred, first you tell me why you wouldn't go.
I just don't think we're ready. I mean, I don't think it's time for us to expose each other to potentially debilitating illnesses. We don't have a vaccine. We don't know who got it. I don't know if I'm a carrier. I don't know if my family's a carrier. The best thing to do is just ride this out. And until we get a vaccine, I know it's not ideal. I love having barbecues. I want to be social, but I also have to be realistic because every day we're seeing more and more people pass away because of this illness of all ages.
And D, why would you go?
Well, personally, I don't think all these people are just dying from the coronavirus itself. I think, a person might have a heart attack and they automatically saying it's the coronavirus. That's just me. Everything is corona.
Coronavirus.
And for almost 100,000 people in the last 2 months to die from one disease, I'm just not buying it.
Yeah.
And that's just me personally. I'm just not buying it. I think they're really trying to scare people.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, because honestly, tell you the truth, I felt like the coronavirus has been here way longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I'm just not buying it. I definitely believe that there's a virus out there, but how they making it out to seem like this, as soon as, because I have a cousin who was pregnant who had it, mm-hmm. and supposedly she survived. Mm-hmm. I had a couple of people that also passed, but still, I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it.
Yeah.
Listen, I can understand the suspicion based on the history of being lied to and all these other things. I would rather just not risk it.
Okay.
No, and I agree with you. That's your own personal choice, but I can't believe in people that oppressed us for so many years, and it's just more. It's just more.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
More.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of there too with that because I think of all the times, like since Corona started, that I was around people. I mean, I was in the barbershop. I was in church. I was
You're in the barbershop.
I was walking around. I mean, I think of all the times that I was actually in a position where I could have contracted something and never came down with anything now. But what they're saying is that you can be asymptomatic, which I don't know if I'm buying that all the way either, because I find it hard to believe that something viral doesn't show any symptoms at all. Like
No, it's
nothing.
like a common cold. To
Yeah,
me,
it's like a common cold. So how could you not have? How could you be walking around with a respiratory infection and not know that something is going on or there not be anything? I know there are illnesses that don't show any symptoms right away, but it's viral and it mimics a cold or a flu. So how could you have that and not know? Or, not feel anything? I don't know. To me, it's just weird.
And then it's around allergy season.
Yeah. So you sniff or if you cough, everybody giving you a side eye like, but there's allergies, and there's still colds and there's still a flu. And so I do believe that they are allotting everything to COVID, even if you stubbed your toe on the bed. If you go to the hospital right now, it'll be like COVID. See?
Oh my God.
So I mean, it's just crazy. It's like, how could this be? How could this possibly be? But anyway,
Well, my biggest concern is that my parents, my mother, and my in-laws are all elderly, and my wife and I were taking care of them. The last thing I want to do is expose them to more. If assuming that this whole thing is real, the last thing I want to do is give my 83-year-old mother corona.
right. No, I understand that.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
So Fred, let me ask you this: Does your mom and your mother-in-law go out at all?
My mother-in-law does not go out. My wife and I have gone shopping. We go shopping for her. I actually took my mother shopping yesterday because she refuses to be locked in the house. But, we take whatever precautions that we can possibly take. We wash our hands, we wear a mask, we keep the 6 feet distance.
You go to your mom's house, that's the other thing. So if you go to your mom's house, you don't go inside?
I do. I go inside, but I don't bring my family. I just go by myself.
Okay, and you have on a mask and everything?
No.
You don't?
No,
Okay.
I don't wear a mask in my mother's house. I don't greet. I haven't kissed my mother in 2 months. I don't greet her. We don't touch each other. But we're in the same room. Huh?
That's awful.
Yeah, that is awful.
It just, it's...
So wait. So Fred, you go see her, you don't kiss her, but you don't have a mask on? I'm confused.
No, not when I'm in the house. I mean, it makes...
So you might as well kiss her then. If you, yeah.
But it is what it is.
So you actually social distance when you go see her? Kind of.
We sit in the same living room, and the living room is not a mansion. She doesn't live in a mansion, so there's just, you guys have been to her house. It's not that big, so
Vaguely. Okay.
Yeah, it's so crazy because the other day, one of the therapists stopped by the office, and I was a little nervous. She was a little nervous because she had to come in, drop something off, and she came in. She had on her mask, and she told me she was coming, so I definitely put on a mask as well. But they're saying how that it could be spread just by talking or breathing or whatever. And we stood up there and talked for hours. She was there for over an hour. We were just talking. And, I was like, and nothing happened. Like, we were both fine. We kept checking on each other every day after. Like, how you feeling today? You feel all right? How you feeling today? But, we were both fine. So, I don't know how much of this we can say is COVID. I do believe that they're just lumping every death in with COVID.
Well,
I do believe that.
I spoke to a doctor today, and she told me that because she was asking me when am I opening up my office for clients coming back in, all that kind of stuff, and I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see what's going on, with the governor and all that stuff. But she was advising me not to open up too quickly because she said that 30% of the people who tested positive for COVID are asymptomatic. So she said, so you're putting yourself at risk if you bring people in here into your office, right? So, and it came back to the conversation with like Danya and Fred were just having about people being asymptomatic. I mean, it feels almost like every week the conversation changes, or there's like a new thing about this coronavirus. So, I mean, there's part of me that's like, it's no big deal. And then there's another part of me that's like, let me just take precautions, just in case. Because, obviously, I'm self-employed, you got a family, all that kind of stuff. You don't want to be reckless. So, having said all that, today, I don't know if you guys know that Governor Cuomo, he said that today is the first time below 100 deaths in 24 hours in New York State, right? So it was as high as 580 every 24 hours, and now it's down to 84 to be exact for the last 24 hours.
That don't sound kind of strange to you? I never saw. That's like.
It's a large number, right?
That's a large.
That's just a large drop. Yeah.
So 515. You go to 500,000. 500.
No. Not overnight. Like it gradually went down. Like March. Like I think like in the end of March, it was like 500 and something. People died in a day. So now it's gradually gone down to the point where it's like 84. They had this morning. He said that in the last 24 hours. So as a result of that, they've allowed in New York State, upstate New York, New York City hasn't passed the threshold yet. So in upstate New York, they have low risk businesses like gardening, landscaping, those kind of businesses can reopen, and drive-in theaters, and you can play sports like tennis where you're not close to people. So those kind of things have been resumed upstate. So, but they're saying if New York City stays below 100 for the next 5 days, they're going to open everything, all the low-risk businesses back up. What do you guys think about that?
Again, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to go food shopping.
Your mom's house.
My mother's house.
He fixing the bathroom.
But listen, I'm fortunate enough that I have a backyard. If I want to be outside, I can go out in the back.
So do you go outside at all, or do you just go?
Yeah, I've spent a great deal of time in the garden with Elizabeth. So I should take pictures and share with you guys. We're competing with the neighbors, and I think right now we're in first place. So we spend a lot of time in the front. We spend time in the back.
So you don't go walking and nothing like that? You guys don't walk outside?
Yeah, we go around. We go around the cemetery. So we do go outside and walk, and we wear our masks.
While you're walking?
We're walking, yeah.
You wear your mask while you're walking?
Yes.
Okay.
By yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's really...
So wait.
It's for other people, because I think people want to feel comfortable.
So, hey, Fred, hold on. So you're walking outside with a mask on, but when you go to your mom's house, you're not wearing a mask?
I'm not going to wear a mask in my mother's house. I feel like it's family, and I just pray that I'm not contagious. I've been going to her house for 2 months now.
Yeah.
And she's okay.
Right. And you're
I
okay.
continue to pray that she's okay.
Right.
I go to her house probably once a week.
Okay.
My brother goes to her house once a week from Jersey. So we just pray that everything is okay. We don't bring our wives and we don't bring the kids. So it's been a challenge for her emotionally. She can only communicate with them via FaceTime. Mm-hmm. But we just have to be as restrictive as possible.
Okay.
But I think, Fred, if you really want to look at it, that's even proof that, the fact that you can go to your mom's house, okay, mm-hmm. supposedly, if you can have it and be asymptomatic and not show any symptoms, right? But you're able to go to your mom's house, because understand that if you have an infectious disease, right, on you, and you are in the company of someone sitting even a couch length distance away from them, it's possible to infect them, right? So, but you've been going there for 2 months. You've been talking to her, sitting down, spending time with her, talking to her. You're fine and she's fine. That should be the first sign that something is fishy.
Well, if he doesn't have it, though, I mean,
but he doesn't have it. But basically, what I've been hearing them saying is that almost all of New York is gonna get it. That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, and then it's not like he's been home the whole time.
You going out, you're circulating, you go to the supermarket.
We go out on average once a week, right? And typically,
Wow.
I don't even leave the car. Like if we go food shopping, my wife does the food shopping, and I will go help her pack the bags, and that's it. And I go back into the car and go home. I'm not going to, I've gone to Home Depot a few times the last couple of weeks, but prior to that, I really haven't been going anywhere. And as far as, wearing the mask on the street, one, it's mandated to wear, you got to wear a mask when you're outside.
No.
No, it's not mandated.
It's not mandated?
It's mandated.
If you go into a store,
It's
a
mandated where
business.
social distancing is not possible.
Right, and if you go into a business,
Yeah. So
I see.
I don't know. The public just ran with that because I'm like, what is this? This is crazy. Because I gotta tell you, I don't wear a mask on the street when I'm walking on the street. I go out regularly for walks and stuff like that, drives or whatever. I'm not wearing a mask in my car.
I don't wear the mask in my car.
I see people doing it. People wear the mask in the car.
they infect themselves.
I've done it.
You wear a mask in the car?
You know what? I be putting it like, right?
Like, you pull it down, right? I don't even do that.
It's like a do-rag for your beard.
Right, exactly. I don't really,
Oh my
I don't
God.
walk with it on the street. If I'm walking down the street, if I'm the only person on the block walking down the street, why do I need a mask? Who gonna give me corona? And who am I gonna give corona
It
to?
might be on the car. You never know.
I think there's just so much a level of fear that the public has run with, whatever it is that they've been telling people. And so now they literally have people feeling like coronavirus is in the atmosphere or something. They feel like it's in the air.
I think when it really starts getting warm, it'll be very interesting to see how many people keep those masks on in the street.
I don't think they
because
will.
It is unbearable after 20 minutes.
It is.
When you're indoors.
It is. And I'm going to tell you what else I've been seeing
It's frustrating.
is that people, like, what was it? We had a warm day this week. I saw a woman with
80s,
a
huh?
puffer. She had on a puffer jacket. She had on a hat. She put the hood up. And then she had on a mask and a scarf wrapped around her face. And it was about 72 degrees outside.
She might have anemia.
No. Ain't that much anemia in the world.
So, all right. So, so they're saying basically up to they're allowing gatherings up to 10 people now, as long as they're following social distancing and cleaning and disinfecting programs.
But you got to be 6 feet away.
Yes, and social distancing and disinfecting protocols.
Didn't Trump just say that the synagogues can be open?
Yeah, he wanted all places of worship to be
Yeah.
open. He's discussing it. It's not. I don't. As of right now, I don't think it's finalized.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to happen yet, though.
I don't think it's like if we're gonna just err on the side of caution.
Right.
Opening up the churches is just not wise.
Yeah.
Even schools, I think about my very last day before the governor and mayor said the schools would be closed in New York State.
Mm.
We had about 50% attendance that day. And my principal mandated that all the classes, all the students have 6 feet distance between each other. And it was virtually impossible at 50% capacity.
Mm.
I can't imagine what it would be like at 100%. Kids are going to be sitting on the windowsills and in the hallway. It's just not going to work.
Well, yeah. Well, school is an impossible situation. I mean, especially big New York City public schools. Like my daughter's school has like 4,000 kids.
It's
Yeah.
not going to work.
I don't see how that's gonna happen.
Well, apparently, one of the things that they're talking about is staggering the day. So they're going to have like a morning session and an evening session. That's just one thing that's on the table. Another thing is having school on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'd be learning things remotely for like elective courses.
Oh, okay. That might work.
It might, but again, if you have a school where there's 4,000 kids,
Yeah.
you still, it would really require you to double up on the personnel,
Right.
which is the main issue, because teachers are not going to work any longer than they need to accommodate this situation.
Right.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like what they're gonna have a whole new staff, like for.
They can't. But first of all, there's no money. They just slashed like $500 million from the DOE budget. So
500.
hiring
Wow.
new people is not going to happen.
Well, you heard.
They should.
Yeah. Well, you heard that they actually hired 3,000 people to enforce social distancing this weekend, so that the cops wouldn't have to do it.
Who are
That's
they?
interesting.
Who are they?
Yeah, what?
They hired exactly. They hired 3,000 people to enforce social distancing in public areas, so that the cops won't have to do it. Because you saw on the news, there's a lot of things with cops getting into with, especially black and brown people. So
But who are they?
I don't know who these people are, but they were hired to I guess to
I'm sure they're
establish
black
it.
and brown people.
Well, there's gonna be a lot.
Where's my beam, y'all? My meme. Where's the beam?
Listen, man. Somebody's gonna get that jaw tapped this weekend. That's all.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's all.
It's ridiculous.
That's all I know, man.
Yeah. They should have kept that money they give it everybody for the kids, the $420 that they giving all the public school kids for meals or whatever. And they did you hear that, Fred? That they giving all the
I did hear that, and so I've re-enrolled both my kids into public school.
Get that money.
Wesley too.
No, speaking of that, you know what's the crazy thing, man? Is that there's people that are staying home now that are making more money than when they were working.
Yeah.
So what incentive
He's making $1,100 a week.
Oh my
Somebody
God.
you know?
Staying home.
Wow.
Right? So why would you go get a job? I mean, was it 18 months they said they're going to do this for?
And looking for a job off the books.
Oh wow. Wow.
Wow, make that money.
That is crazy. Yeah, no, it's like they want people to stay home, and even that got my antennas up. Like, where's all this money coming from?
But yeah, where's this money coming from?
I don't know.
They won't build.
It's from the reparations account.
They won't feed the homeless.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Get
They,
$200 away.
state is broke, but where y'all getting all this money from? Where? I need to know.
Well, they're going to be, like Fred said, there's going to be a lot of budget cuts when this thing opens back up, man. Like CUNY, SUNY already got big-time budget cuts coming.
Mm-hmm.
So
There were 475 fellows hired and slated to begin teaching in September. 400 of them got fired before they even started their first day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So it's real.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's real, but my question is, what's really going on?
That's the real.
What's
Listen,
what's
you know
going
I
on?
love conspiracy theories. I eat that stuff.
What is going on?
I don't know, but I feel like people are dying. They're dying of something.
Well,
These,
go ahead. Go ahead.
listen, there are a lot of people in my very small circle who've expressed that they've had family members and friends and neighbors who've died of COVID.
Right.
I can't discount it.
When you're quick to say that it was COVID and not look at anything else, that makes me wonder.
Well, they're getting paid for every person that's diagnosed as COVID.
Well,
Right.
but that's
It's like
what raises the question mark
for every
me.
COVID death, right?
Yeah, it's like, so I mean, I don't even understand. So if the person is in an institution where they had a lot of COVID deaths, they're just gonna lump that person in with all the COVID deaths, even if it wasn't that. So
See, here's and I understand 100%. I don't disagree with you. But on the flip side, then how do we explain all those people who are dying in the nursing homes?
Well,
Because that
Fred,
I
I
used
just
to
think
work in a
that.
nursing home.
Well,
I used to work at nursing home. People die all day, every day.
Well, I think what happens is that the COVID just accelerates it because the people don't have the immune system to deal with
To
it.
combat it.
So, right? So, because they said 96% of the people that died in New York City had one pre-existing condition, and 88% of the people that died had two or more pre-existing condition.
Right.
So, to me, what it seems like it almost like picks on the vulnerable,
Right.
Yeah.
for lack of a better way of phrasing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So meaning the 98 or 99% of the other people, if you're healthy, you're going to recover from it.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not discounting that it's out there. I'm not saying that it's not out there. It
Right.
definitely is something that's out there. I believe that it is out there. But, I wonder if they were reporting on flu deaths the way they report on COVID deaths. I wonder what those numbers would look like. Or if they were reporting on how many people are dying from heart attacks every day, or how many people are dying from strokes every day. I wonder what those numbers would look like if they were putting it on the TV every single day, 24/7. I wonder what those numbers would look like. I mean, this is the first thing that in my lifetime that I've heard them reporting on deaths every single day. And of course it's going to create some kind of fear because that's never been done before.
Well, part of it is also that the virus is so small that makes it highly contagious, right? But I think if they gave a balanced report, meaning that in terms of get your immune system up, work on that, take on your vitamin D, your vitamin C, drink hot teas, whatever it is, huh? What'd you say?
That's some CMOS.
CMOS.
Yeah. I'm saying if they was balancing it out with the deaths, then you could say, all right, okay. So if people wouldn't be so frightened.
The news media doesn't make their money off of balance.
Well, of course not.
It has to be fear.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
As an educator,
Right.
my concern is that one, I wouldn't want my daughter to be exposed.
Right.
Okay?
True.
And the other thing is, if in fact most of the students in the DOE are black and brown,
Right.
and most of the deaths of the people with COVID are black and brown and coming from the same communities, I'm concerned that we're going to see a lot of teachers who do not look like the people that they serve say, I'm not going into work.
That's a good point.
Because, listen, the only reason why the cops are not enforcing it's not because they're beating people up. Believe me, it's not altruistic. It's because many cops have been getting sick, apparently,
Yeah.
and they want to try to mitigate that. So the union is strong. They have a very powerful union, and they can make demands.
There's also
Teachers have a powerful union too, and they're going to make demands as well come September. I have no intel, but I really doubt that we'll be starting the first week in September in the classroom.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with you. I agree with that, man. But to go back to what Cammie was saying about, like, at least they should show us how to try to get our immune system up. But it's funny how how NBA players got it, and none of them passed.
Right.
well, they also like 20 something in athletic. So I mean,
But there's some cases out there that's also. So you telling me there's almost 100,000 people that's only. Like, you telling me only 60 and up? Or that's
no. But the young people that died usually got either obese or they got
issues,
right.
yeah.
Like they have
underlying issues as well. Yeah.
A steady diet of sugar and butter.
and tropical fantasy.
Tropical fantasy.
and a mystic.
I can't.
From a spiritual perspective,
Okay.
a lot of people would believe that, listen, this is the Lord speaking to us. Now, whether you subscribe to that or not, it's certainly something to ponder.
Go on, Deacon Fred.
Go ahead.
Go on, Deacon Fred.
Deacon Fred, yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you'd be crazy not to take pause and look at your life with all this stuff going on around you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because whether it's real or fake, there are things that we have never seen. Broadway closing down.
Yeah.
Library shutting down.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. I mean, I went to the city last week after you told me that you guys drove into the city.
It's crazy.
So we went to Times Square.
right.
And it was stunning.
Right. It's crazy.
All the lights are off.
Right.
What,
the
were
streets
they?
are empty. Well, what I mean is
The stores.
obviously.
The stores, okay.
There's
Yeah.
no traffic.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, as
Right,
far
right.
as pedestrians,
Yeah.
I mean, probably less than 10% of the pedestrians were there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, when I went, it was probably about 25 people in Times Square.
Yeah.
And that was 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
You know what? I haven't seen that since, after 9/11.
You're right, exactly.
That's true too. Yeah. Yep.
And 9/11 was short-lived. Relative to what we experience now,
Right.
people were pretty much back in the city the week after. You had to go back to work. Things.
But wasn't there like a mass? I remember after 9/11, a lot of people that were businesses left the city. People that used to live in the city left the city. So there was kind of like a mass exodus after
People
9/11.
leaving now.
And people are leaving now,
it's,
too.
It's happening now.
Yeah, yeah.
But the difference between now and then, and I think, Kemi, you and I spoke about it earlier this week, is that the internet was nothing like it is now.
Yeah.
People were not necessarily working from home. Listen, if I
That's a good
have a
point.
job in Manhattan,
That's a
I
good
can
point.
move to Tennessee and do my work.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
have a colleague who's a teacher. She's in Florida right now.
Yeah.
She's been in Florida since the first week in April.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I know a couple of people did the same
Yeah,
thing, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you got the finances, you could you can get
just
out of
take
here.
your drive on down and go
And
do
You're
teach from
still
there.
getting a New York check. But that's the thing. If you go to Florida, you're not getting a Florida check.
Right,
You're getting
right.
a New York check.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So if I'm hearing you guys correct, everybody's playing it safe, not going outside.
Well, I go outside. I go outside. I do. I go
Not
outside.
necessarily.
Say it again.
Not necessarily. I mean, we've gone bike riding a few times, but at the time the parks were empty.
Okay.
But I drove by the park on Albany, and there were a lot of kids playing basketball with no hoop.
With no hoop.
The hoops are down, but they still playing ball.
I did that a couple of times. I ain't gonna front. Back in the day.
There are a lot of people in the parks now. So
Yo, just hit the square, man. Hit the square.
Yeah,
that
no,
is
they're
sweet.
coming back out, and I think it's going to be hard for them to keep people indoors once
Yeah.
the weather really breaks.
The
And
weather is really not breaking yet. It's like
yeah, we've had
it's
some
not
nice
weird.
days though. I know.
I think next week is all 70s, isn't
Like
it?
maybe a week ago, it kind of snowed a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
word.
yeah,
That's true.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
So it's, I don't know.
That's
I
got.
think it's a blessing. Think about it. If
Yeah.
Right.
if it got warm mid-April,
That would have been a wrap.
numbers would be a lot worse.
Yeah, it would have been a.
Blessing, or can we kind of not control the weather a little bit, but it's something you can do to make the weather.
What you saying, man?
Deshaun, you on some other conspiracy theory.
Like, they got satellites. I don't know if they can, something about the weather. Just I don't know. Like
It's funny, right?
Even before Corona, I mean, look at the
Yeah,
winter.
one
We had very little snow.
we had very little snow.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
So then why hasn't the weather just broke? Like if we had only one snowstorm, and now if you look at it, the weather, it just
Because we need to be inside.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's true. It does help to keep you indoors, but
right. It does.
yeah, those nice days that we had, yeah, people go out.
Let it hit 90. And
Wait, it was like 80 something last week, right? I think-
yeah, and
Yeah.
man, people was out there like they ain't have
like,
No sense.
no sense.
Well, I think the proof in the pudding will be when we do hit 90 and 85 consistently. Is there going to be a spike in the corona contraction?
You mean the second wave?
Now, is it going to be a spike or is
The
that what
second
they gonna
wave.
tell us?
What you said, Deshaun?
What's that?
So is that what they're going to tell us? Like, all right, let's say it is a spike. So now you're going to, like, these kids say, oh, yeah, well, you got to do it, Charles. And these kids, they ready. They like, yo,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are so ready.
Yeah,
they are.
yeah,
They are.
They
yeah,
don't care.
Yeah.
They do not care.
yeah. It
So
doesn't.
is dying to go to her friend's house, and I'm like,
Are you
Yeah.
going to let her go to her friend's house?
no, she's dying to like just go out.
Are you going to
Yeah.
let her go out to the mall or whatever?
With a mask. With a mask on.
She had a personal mask.
Yeah. Cause here's my thing. If we have to wear masks on our faces, all right. So I get really annoyed when I go food shopping and I have to wait on a line, even though I have on a mask and everybody else is wearing a mask as well. So my whole thing is, it's either you're gonna social distance or you're
wear a
gonna wear a
mask.
mask. Why do we need to do both? Because if my face is covered and his face is covered and your face is covered and your face is covered, how are we spreading it? We can't spread it. So then what's the need to make people wait on a line outside and limit the number of people in the store? That to me, it doesn't make any sense. I don't get that.
I don't know, but I know that these policies were implemented in 1918. And according to what I've read, the places that were strict with it, like San Francisco,
Yeah.
saw a rapid decline in cases versus places like Philadelphia, that
Yeah,
they
I
saw a
know.
dip. They saw a dip in people contracting the disease,
Right.
and then when they loosened up the regulations, they had a second wave that almost decimated the city. So I think, people who are making the decisions are like, listen, let's try to avoid repeating what we see in history. Again, time will tell. We don't really know. I think although, it's an inconvenience to be standing in line to get into a supermarket and to wear this hot mask and to be home locked, I get it. It's an inconvenience. Life is not what we know it. But if it is what they say it is, then, and we want to live, then we really just need to adhere to this. And in a year, 2 years, 5 years, we'll look back and say, we wasted our time or we did the right thing.
That's
but
true.
Does the mask really protect us from the virus?
Probably not.
And what I'm saying is, what are they doing in the hospitals?
Well, Deshaun, you work in the hospital.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So-
all they doing is masking up. That's all they do. You
That's-
put on
right.
gloves and masks. That's it. But
Right.
That's it. That's all they can do, and then wipe stuff down. But if you look at it like this, can that really stop the virus?
Well, it is for infectious diseases. Yes, it is good to cover your face because droplets, right? So if somebody sneezes or coughs or whatever, it is possible because when you sneeze, there's a lot of spittle that comes out of your mouth. So if your face is covered, it's not going to travel, right? So if everybody's face is covered, then that stops the, unless you wear if you're wearing any type of a face covering, like a handkerchief or, one of these masks that they have, then you're pretty much good because think about it. In the hospitals, nobody's social distancing in the hospital and everybody got on a mask and that's what they're doing. And they have been able over the years to prevent illnesses in hospitals among, the healthcare workers or whatever. And that's one of the things healthcare work mandates during cold and flu season. If you haven't gotten a flu shot, that you have to wear a mask. Because they know the importance of keeping your face covered. When you sneeze or cough, you have to cover your face because you can spread whatever you have.
Well, Deshaun, they're mandating you guys to wear gloves and masks in the hospital?
Absolutely.
And anything else, or that's mainly it?
Well, and then we have our own gear and stuff, like protective gear. So it's simple, but it's, I don't know. It's just, to me, you have all that stuff on, but then with gloves, you're still touching stuff.
Right. Yeah. So you gotta change those. So you gotta change the gloves often.
You gotta change. To stop a virus like that, and you saying you have masks and gloves, that means you gotta take every gloves off every 2 seconds.
That's right.
And you really can't do that. You really can't.
That's right. Or you gotta sanitize the glove.
Deshaun, have you seen doctors or nurses in your hospital die from COVID?
No.
Wow.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
There's people that died, but
No, has anyone gotten it in your hospital? Like any staff that have contracted it that you know of?
no, just family members, but no one in the hospital.
Well, actually, that's funny that you asked that because I was on the elevator in our building. You only allowed to have one person in the elevator at a time unless you're related to the other people, right? If you live in the same house. So a nurse at the elevator stopped, like the fourth floor, and I said, "Oh, you can come on if you want," because she had on a mask and So she said to me, so I was like, "Oh well, you just gotta stay a little distance or whatever." So she's like, "Trust me, I would have gotten it a long time ago. I work in a hospital. You ain't got to worry about me."
Right.
Right. She said, so I was like, "Really?" So she was like, "Yeah, I'm there all day, every day. So, and nothing's happened to me yet."
Yep.
Why don't you tell us the story of that old man you saw in the lobby?
that was ready to beat me up.
Who, by the way, is post-cancer. So he has cause to be
probably,
careful.
Right. He's like, you got your mask on, man?
I can pull
He's
out
about to
belt.
put me in a headlock. Deshaun, it's your boy's pops, man. I ain't calling no names, but yeah, your boy's pops.
Joseph Robinson?
Yeah.
Mr. Robinson?
Yeah.
Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, he said,
Wait, tell me the story.
nah, that was it. He was like, I felt like I was 12 again. He was like, "Yo, you got your mask on?"
Oh, God. I was talking to his daughter last night on a house party.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right.
And he gave the kids 2 N95 masks. Don't ask me where he got them from.
It fell off a truck.
I know. He gave them 2. I mean, which we never used, of course, because those things are hot. So we never used them.
They hot, all right.
Yeah, no, they're It's, I just feel like it's over the top. I really feel like it's over the top.
That's what they went to get the food. So
All the
Right.
precautions, I think that as a society, if we have been doing these things all along, covering our faces and when we're sneezing and coughing and wash your hands and doing all of that, it probably wouldn't have spread as much as it did. But that's just my theory.
No, you're right. You're right.
This is my theory. People don't know how to sanitize. Now everybody want to run out and get sanitizers and bleach and all that stuff. Shouldn't you have had that already before?
Danya has the corner on sanitizers.
Yeah.
From
And I
10
always
years ago.
have. Always have. So when it first started, I didn't need anything because I had everything in the house. I had Lysol and everything. But
Danya got keychains, all kind of stuff. All right, man. So we're gonna wrap this up, guys. Hopefully, the next time we talk, some of us would have ventured outside, and everything will be back to normal. But we just want to thank you guys. Huh?
Couples date.
Yeah, sure, man. We could do that. Wear your mask,
Zoom?
though. Wear your mask.
On Zoom.
a real couples date. Yeah,
Out and about.
we can do that.
We'll check that out, man.
We can do that.
All right, man.
I don't know where we going though. Are the restaurants open?
Takeout.
We're on 1803. We went there before, remember?
I know,
Yeah, I
but
remember that.
I mean, when the restaurants are open, I guess we can go.
Well, I hope it survives. How many restaurants are going to survive? That's the question.
Yeah, that's the thing. I see the Chinese food places are opening back up. I'm just waiting for them to
And
open up the nail salons.
wow.
You see this?
That's-
COVID hands.
Oh, God.
Waiting on the
His favorite
nails.
spot is open up too, Trelawney.
Oh, please stop.
Trelawney?
I think they changed the name of it.
Trelawney's not there anymore.
They changed
It's
it.
another spot, but I'm sure it's the same service.
Right. Well, we never went there.
Oh, my goodness.
We never went there.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah.
All right, man. So, listen, man. We'll thank you guys again for coming through. And y'all be safe. And
Thank you.
we'll see you guys
See
around.
you guys.
Yeah, same here.
Good to see you guys.
I'm gonna wash my masks now.
Oh, man. All right, y'all. We'll talk. Y'all be safe.
Okay, guys, take care.
All right.